People. Que pasa, sac passe, what they do. Now, people, you know that today is D-Day. Today is a day of reckoning. Today is a day where dancehall artist Tommy Sparta faces the court as it pertains to his state of emergency detention, whether he is being held unlawfully, illegally, or unconstitutionally. And people, you know that he went to court the other day and it was delayed until the 10th, which is today, the 13th, and I think the 14th, which would be Thursday and Friday. So now, people, based on what I heard, it is said, a little birdie pinched me and told me that it seems like the confidential informant, it seems like the rat, it seems like the snitch for the prosecution, the DPP, is kind of catching cold feet. And now, people, you understand that there is somebody talking as it pertains to the Sparta. We are talking about uptown, we are talking about downtown Sparta, because we've seen that there's been a lot of bus, a lot of the gang members are getting held, a lot of rifles, a lot of pie, a lot of ammunition, etc., etc. has been found. Now, people, it is obvious that there is somebody in the inside that is talking, whether it be somebody like Cray, aka Crayman, or somebody else that is a top lieutenant in the gang, whether this is a person that is also a gang leader, one of the gang members. It is obvious that somebody is giving credible information. However, people, like we say, it is very easy when you're giving information, when you're behind closed door and you and the popo and you're trying to save yourself, because people, don't get it twisted, don't get it misconstrued. That is exactly what is going on. This is a dog eat dog world. So therefore, it seems like the popo, we are speaking about the DPP, they are doing a deal with the devil, point blank and period. So therefore, me just say, the person that they are using to convict the others is somebody that is very unscrupulous, or might be even worse than all of them. Now, people, you understand how the thing go as it pertains to evidence. This case is going to be held on Zoom. That means that the confidential informant is going to be in court or in a room, and then Tommy Sparta is going to be zoomed from where he is, I think, Freeport Popo Station in a Montego Bay, and then they are going to be going back and forth. But people, like I said before, the last time when this case went to court, it seems as if we're speaking about the confidential informant, he got cold feet. It seems as if the DPP, the detective, they were ill prepared. It seems as if they did not have their story together. It seems as if the information that they have, it was not corroborated. Now, people, like I said, it is very easy to give information when you're trying to save yourself. When the popo is basically there and asking you all sorts of questions, you can't tell all sorts of lies. However, when you are facing the judge or facing the person that you are basically giving information about, especially if you are lying, you are going to get cold feet, you are going to get shook. And people, don't get it twisted. I am not saying that Tommy Sparta has this person scared. Me just say he is somebody that allegedly knows Tommy Sparta or knows the inside out of whatever was going on as it pertains to the Sparta. However, when he is giving information and the judge have him gavel in him and me talk about the hammer, and he is looking at this person sideways, and he is looking at this person over him spectacle, and also this man is facing Tommy Sparta, people, he might get shook, point blank and period. So people, like I said, based on information, credible information, that is what caused the delay the last time. What will happen today, nobody knows. However, let's analyze this case of what might take place, what might transpire. People, listen to what I have to say. So the first thing that we have to analyze, we have to ask this question: does the popo have some sort of smoking guns? Is the popo ready to basically release the information of the confidential informant? Is the confidential informant going to be strong enough to basically give evidence or basically make statements that are not consistent, that are corroborating everything that the popo is saying? People, let me know what you think in the comment section. The second thing that we have to also analyze, people, I am never saying that Tamale Sparta is an innocent victim. He is an innocent bystander. However, he is just like most ghetto youths from flankers Montego Bay that are caught between broke, caught between scamming, caught between the gun culture, the badness culture, because people at the end of the day, people need a come up. At the end of the day, people are desperate, and people like them said, desperate times calls for desperate measure. And people, I am not justifying the gun culture or the gang culture. I am just giving you a reality. However, in Tamale Sparta's case, we see that he has a God-given talent. He is a gifted artist. And they realize that he has a sort of talent that can basically elevate him out of the ghetto. And they realize that he is making much more money than he would ever make from this scamming thing. And people, I am not saying that the scamming business is not lucrative. However, it is basically played out right now. And I am not saying that persons are not making money. However, it is not what it was or once was. So therefore, Tamale Sparta has to basically come to that decision as an artist, as a person. Is he going to be dibbling and dabbling in all sorts of illegal activity when he has an option, when he is blessed with the talent to be a top dancehall artist where he can travel all over the place if his criminal record is not bad? People, let me know, do you think that Tamale Sparta is still dibbling and dabbling as it pertains to scamming, as it pertains to the Sparta gang? Let me know what you think in the comment section. So people, like I've always said, Tamale Sparta knew that if he was in or still in the Sparta, or if he was ever in the Sparta and he came out, he is always going to be haunted by the past. He is always, or he was always going to have that stigma or name attached to him, especially when he named himself Tamale Sparta. So people like them say, be very careful of what you ask for. So I have to ask the question, is Tamale Sparta want to live that life, or does Tamale Sparta want to continue to live that life where he has to look over his shoulder every day, where he have to basically jeopardize his life and his freedom? Because people, we see that this is not the first time or the second time, and it might not be the last time that he is called up as a person of interest once again. People, me just say, based on the history, based on what we've seen transparent as it pertains to Tamale Sparta and the Popo. Now people, don't get it twisted, don't get it misconstrued. Tamale Sparta and these persons from the Sparta gang, they are friends. They were at least once friends. They know what was going on, and like me say, he is no innocent victim. He might have dibbled and dabbled in the past. However, if there is no evidence linking him to anything from back in the past, and people like we see, the Popo has been busting a lot of persons. However, these gang members are members that are presently in the gang, that are presently committing crime. We are speaking about all sorts of things, all sorts of atrocity, murder, rape, lele, blue, blah, blah. In the case of Tamale Sparta, he has been missing from Montego Bay for the most part for in excess or maybe over 10 years. So people, we are talking about a decade. And people, don't get it twisted. We understand that Jamaica is small, and it takes us maybe about 2.5 hours to get from Kingston to Montego Bay. So therefore, he could have been going back and forth. So people, my point is that the Popo, the detective, we are speaking about the informant, he has to prove that case in a court. And I am not speaking about the court of public opinion or hearsay. I am speaking about in the court with evidence in front of a judge or in front of a jury. That is the case that they have to prove. And people, it is going to be an uphill battle, especially if the informant, me I talk about the confidential informant, is not sturdy, especially if he is giving conflicting or contradicting statement and all sort of testimony, point blank and period. Now I know that a lot of persons are going to say, yeah, but we see all sort of picture and video all over social media, all over YouTube, rate, lele, blue, blah, blah, and people, that is true. We've seen the picture with him and some notorious gunman or bad man. However, people, you cannot be guilty by association. You got to be guilty by a conspiracy. And unless the court can prove that he conspired with these persons in the video or in the picture, People, it is no sort of case. Like me say, it is not a case of public opinion. It is a case of evidence. It is not a case of hearsay. It is a case of evidence in the court. So in other words, unless the DPP or the prosecution can basically connect the dots, cross all the T's and dot all the I's, it is going to be problematic in a court, point blank and period. Now, what is not going to look very good on the part of Tommy Sparta is the fact that he has been charged for scamming in the past. However, that case was also beat, whether it be by lack of evidence or on technicality. The fact that he beat the case, the fact that he is still an innocent man, and people like them say, you are innocent until proven guilty. And so far, Tommy Sparta has been an innocent man based on what the court has to say. Now, people, what is also going to be an uphill battle as it pertains to the prosecution is the fact that Tommy Sparta was interviewed at least 7 times at the Freeport Popo station in the company of his lawyer. And during those interviews, based on what the lawyer is saying, and people, don't get it twisted, don't get it misconstrued, I understand that the lawyer is always going to speak things that are in preference of his client. However, if he said that he was interviewed, his client was interviewed, we are speaking about Tommy Sparta on at least 7 occasions. And on that occasion, or on all of those occasions, they got the impression that Tommy Sparta was going to be let out. That is based on what the Popo said. And then for now, the Popo to come and say them have some sort of confidential informant. So people, was the Popo basically plain me I talk about Tommy Sparta and his lawyer? Were they using their poker face? Were they basically psyching them out? Because people, the truth and the facts that for the Popo now to go in court, we are talking about today, we are talking about Thursday and Friday, and say them have some sort of smoking gun, say that they have some sort of confidential informant with some new information that they did not reveal. We are speaking about to the defense, we are talking about Tommy Sparta and him lawyer. People, that is also going to be problematic in a court, point blank and period. Now, people, like I said, it is obvious that the person, whoever is talking, whoever is the confidential informant, he is definitely a person that is in the inside. He is definitely a person that has some very credible information. However, the information that he has given so far, it relates to mostly members that are presently in the gang, members that are basically active right now, members that are out there creating all sort of crime. We are speaking about some violence producer. However, as it pertains to Tommy Sparta, because of the fact that he has been basically missing from flankers for the most part of maybe about a decade, it is going to be very hard to connect these dots. It is going to be very hard to basically prove. It is going to be very hard for basically link with evidence. We are speaking about voice notes. We are speaking about messages. We are speaking about all sort of stuff. One person alone, one confidential informant is not going to be enough, especially when that confidential informant is unknown. We are talking about gangster, gunman. We are talking about MURDERER. People, he is going to have big time credibility issue. However, you know that this is Jamaica, and if the prosecution can basically psych out the jury or psych out, we are talking about the judge, and we know that there's a lot of politics involved. And people, I am not saying that that is the case in this case, me just say it is possible. So people, like I said, it is all good and well when you're in a back room, we're speaking about the confidential informant, and you're pointing fingers and you're trying to save yourself in this dog eat dog world, and you're basically trying to bury other persons that are just like yourself, or you are even worse than them. However, when you have to basically step on that stage in front of Zoom, in front of the judge, in front of a jury, in front of lawyers, in front of everybody, and everybody is going to know who you are. Everybody is going to know who this big bad gangster is. Now turn, we are talking about talking parrot. People, shame alone, it is going to consume him. His own conscience might basically freeze him up. We are talking about Panzum. So people, the question that we have to ask, is this confidential informant willing to risk it all? Is he willing to be exposed? Is he willing to face the wrath of these lawyers that are going to rip him apart? Because people will understand that his own, we are speaking about reputation, is very bad. His credibility is going to be understand. It is going to be shattered. People, let me know what you think. Or do you think that the fact that this person is a heartless person, he is going to basically trying to save himself, and whatever that he has to do, he is going to do it and live in shame for the rest of his life? And then again, people, these persons, they have no conscience. So therefore, if you have no conscience, maybe you might not have any shame either. People, let me know what you think in the comment section. So people, this is my disclaimer once again. This is not a video in defense of Tamale Sparta. I am just speaking based on what I've seen transparent. And people, we even saw that the other day, the Popo them, they took Tamale Sparta to several apartment complex in Kingston. They took him from Montego Bay, from Freeport Popo station, and they took him to Kingston to several, we're speaking about apartment complex. And we know how the Popo are. If they found something, they would be hyping it up. They would be over sensationalizing it. They would be over exaggerating it. And people, we did not hear anything. So the question that we have to also ask is this: those 8, we're speaking about Sparta gang members that were found in that uptown apartment in Kingston, was this one of the apartments that was rented by Tamale Sparta? So the point that I am trying to make is that if it was linked to Tamale Sparta, then it is going to be problematic for Tamale Sparta and his defense team. I am speaking about the lawyer. However, if it was not any part or any sort of link to Tamale Sparta, people, it is going to be problematic as it pertains to linking Tamale Sparta to this gang, because we saw that that is exactly what they were trying to do. However, people like me say, they all have to put this in evidence. They have to connect all the dots, cross all the T's and dot all the I's. However, it has to be done in court, not the court of public opinion, not based on hearsay. We are talking about evidence in the court. We are talking about the justice court, point blank and period. So people, at the end of the day, or the moral of the story is this: the Popo investigators are their own worst enemy. They are the ones that were out there over sensationalizing everything. They are the ones that were giving out information prematurely before they concluded their investigation. So therefore, if the case basically blew up in them face, they have themselves to blame, because that is not how proper investigation is done in no sort of place we are talking about in the world. So people, we see that the DPP along with the Popo, they are known, they have a reputation for basically fouling up. We are speaking about babbling, we are speaking about fumbling, all sorts of high profile case. And people, I think that this will be the case in this case. And like me say, it is just my views, it is just my opinion. And people, the truth and the facts that based on what I see going on right now, it seems like most of the Popo information that they're getting is coming from social media. And a very popular lawyer once said, if you put in ish, you're only going to get back ish. And if your information or your informant or your source of information is trash, that means that your evidence is going to be trash. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Bless up.